Russ Beckett, Pop Radio, 92.1 Johnstown, 104.5 Altoona. Author interview for today. Jennifer Probst is on the phone, and her book of the Month. Jennifer, thank you for chatting with us today.
Thanks for having me, Russell. I'm so excited to be here.
Can you tell people what the Book of the Month is about?
Oh, the Book of the Month is a really funny romantic comedy where my heroine is a best-selling author. And her first book went viral and went great, but that's because she penned it during the biggest heartbreak of her life. And unfortunately, the books that she wrote afterward didn't have the same fame. So she's afraid she's a one-hit wonder. She decides to embark on a small beach town in the Outer Banks for the summer, and she decides to get her heart broken in order to write another bestseller. Then we have my hero, who happens to be the hottest bachelor in town, and he runs a tour company for the wild horses. His business is going bankrupt, so my heroine offers him a deal, fake date her for the summer, break her heart, and then she'll bail out his business. So what could go wrong, right? Maybe just a little thing called love.
I mean, it sounds like a perfect idea. What first drew me to want to read this book is it's a book that a writer wrote about a writer trying to write a book. So like that idea of how that came to be for you really just fascinated me. So how does a writer write a book about a writer writing a book?
Yes, you know what? This was probably one of my easiest books because with other occupations, you have to do a lot of research. Mm-hmm. But this one, I was just able to dive right into Aspen's personality and all the quirks of being a writer and how we love our isolation and how a lot of times what we're feeling emotionally and connection goes onto the page and makes a best-selling book. So you have to be really kind of open to life and open into your own emotions and not be afraid of it. I thought it would be so much fun to write something about being afraid of being a one-hit wonder, right? Doesn't so many artists, like they get the great big song or the great art, and then they go, am I a has-been if the other ones don't sell? So I thought it would be really fun to kind of dive into that feeling of an artist afraid that maybe the best work has been done. And fortunately, that part has been fictional. Every book that I write, I feel really good about. And I'm very happy with my husband, so I'm not running off to a beach town trying to get, like, a really hot guy to break my heart. So that part is definitely fiction, too.
We're clear on where the line from Jennifer to Aspen ends.
That's correct.
When you want to write a character of, the dreamy guy and that character on a pedestal, how do you start with that? How do you create something like that and get these characters to fall in love where it makes sense? Because it really does in this book.
Yeah, no, it really does. So this is so funny because one summer I actually went to the Outer Banks and I took a tour to see the wild horses. And the tour guide was this kind of broody, handsome, very into the horses. And the whole setting and his character just came to me right away. So I immediately I saw his grandfather's tour legacy that was going bankrupt and his grandfather passed and he was inheriting this business that didn't work anymore and how it would feel to try to get it back up in today's economy and everything. And it was just such a fun idea that I just took it. I think one of my favorite things to write, and people love it in the romance industry, is opposites attract. Mm-hmm. So you have like a sunshine kind of scattered heroine, and then you have a very kind of grumpy, reserved hero, and you pair those together. And then you just have a lot of fun watching the fireworks happen, and plus falling in love. And falling in love is just like something, that's just what everybody loves to do, right? Read about it, see it on the movies and the big screen, think about it. I think we need it nowadays with the world the way it is.
And I think another thing, of course, falling in love, everyone's been in relationships, but another thing that people can relate to about this book is that kind of pressure of success. Both characters have that, where they just want to be successful in what they're doing.
Yes, it's so true. I mean, it's such a human thing to really want to succeed at something that you love, especially if it's like a family member's business being passed down or a creative art where you really take it very, very personally. I mean, I know that once my book is written and out in the world, I tell myself it doesn't belong to me anymore. It was my baby while I was writing it, but now it belongs to the world. And that kind of helps me separate it a little bit.
It seems like you might be continuing with these characters a little bit in the future.
Yes, because while I was writing it, what happens sometimes is characters come in to surprise you. So my heroine has a sister, and the sister was a secondary character. I had no plans to write her book. And literally in the middle of a scene, my hero's best friend literally walks into the apartment, and I'm writing this, and I have no idea where he comes from. And I find out that it's his best friend, and he just got out of jail. And so right away I said, uh-oh, here comes the second book. So those are the fun surprises that sometimes happen, and you have to pay attention, because if I was stuck on my plot outline, he would have never appeared, and I wouldn't have the second book coming out next July.
But does that mean we're also going to see a little bit of Aspen and Brick in the second book?
Oh, yes, because readers love to check in on the characters from the first or second or third books. Writing a series is so much fun. All the characters from Book of the Month is going to be in the second book, called The Reluctant Flirt, because I think it's fun. It's kind of like it becomes a family. I know when I'm reading a series, when people make an appearance and they come back in, it feels like checking in with a really good friend.
It's a really fun book. There are some laugh out loud funny moments in there that I don't want to give away to anybody, but there are some scenes you got to watch what you eat, things like that. And it's very funny, and it's got some great moments in it.
Russell, I am so happy that you mentioned that, because I don't like to spoil the scenes either, but so many of my readers have been emailing me saying they were laughing out loud at the little book signing. We'll just say it was a book signing, and it was something she ate that will definitely intrigue people to see how that signing went.
Yeah, absolutely. Read the scene. You'll know it when you get to it, what we're talking about, but it's like slapstick comedy funny, and it made me laugh out loud.
I love that. You made my day. Thank you for that.
Well, you made my last several days catching up on this book, so the least I can do. But thank you so much for chatting with us. It is Book of the Month. If you're into romance, if you're into comedy, if you're just, hey, a lot of people in this area of Pennsylvania spend summers in OBX, so trust me, there's a lot to recognize here in this book, and we recommend you check it out. Jennifer, if anyone wants to find out more about you and the books that you're doing and what you got going on in your career, how can they find out more about you?
You can go directly to my website. Everything is there. You can even get a free book if you sign up for my newsletter, and that's www.jenniferprobst.com.
And we're going there to sign up right now. Jennifer, thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you so much, Russell. Really appreciate it.